Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm going to be doing a demo on a platform that our team has been working on called the Musalleen platform. So it has quite a few components, and the goals are to facilitate and make it easy for masajid to communicate with their members, to be able to send them events, to be able to send them announcements and things that are going on in the community and in the masjid. So right now, communication is only limited to those musallin who are coming to the masjid, and only those musallin in specific who hear the announcement after the salah, that the announcement is made after. So the point of this is that how we can streamline that and make communication easy, and on the click of a button send news to everybody who's following your masjid. And we should have one place where we can keep our salat time data, and then across all our platforms, whether it's our website, our application, or a kiosk, all those platforms should pull from one central place. And one very important thing also is donations, so that we can have donations directly to the masjid via credit card. So whether from a kiosk where users can just come up, swipe their card and pay, or from their own app, from their app, they can actually pay to the masjid directly by typing in their credit card number. So these are the goals of the platform. And so this is targeted for two types of people. So there's an application, Android and iOS, and kiosk. Those are targeted for the second type of user, and the dashboard is targeted for the first type. So the dashboard is targeted for masjid imams or administrators who actually want to be able to communicate with their members more easily. So then they actually use the dashboard to be able to control the kiosk and the applications, which are the front ends for the Musalleen. And that leads me into the kiosk and the app. Those are for Musallin who want to be able to receive news from their masjid and be in the loop, I guess, for any news that's happening, and also be able to donate via card and get reliable salat times information. So there's three components right now. There's the dashboard, the app, and the kiosk. So there's an Android and iOS app. So right now the dashboard is complete, Android is complete except for donations, and iOS is not complete, and the kiosk is very close to being complete. So that's currently what exists. And in the actual architecture, we have an API database, Android and iOS app, and a dashboard, web dashboard. So it's pretty standard. Everything talks to the data, to the API. All the front ends talk to the API, which in turn reads and writes to and from the database. And I'm actually going to go ahead and demo the app a little bit right now, inshallah. So this is what we have, the Musalleen app. So that's the splash screen right there. And when a user, when he first goes in, right now there's already data loaded. So when a person first goes installs the application, they'll see the masjid screen, since they won't be following any masajid. So once they're in the masjid screen, they can see all the masajid that have registered with our service. And so when a masjid, like on the other end, when a masjid registers, then their masjid is made available for members to follow it. So if I follow a masjid, immediately my device is made available to that masjid to be able to send me notifications. So there's all these masajid, and I'm following, these are the masajid that I'm following. I'm following 3. And if I go back to masajid or masjids, then for example I go in Masjid Abdullah, which I'm not following right now, then I can see I have the option to follow it, and I have their basic information. So but once I follow it, it takes me inside their page. Sorry, but if I go back in their page, now we can see that I don't have the like option or follow option anymore because I'm already following it. Rather, I have an option to set it as home right here. So I have the option right here to set it as home if I like. So if I set a masjid as home, what that does is I'm able to start them whenever the app starts. After this, it'll always launch on this page right here. So that's what that means. So let's go to masjids and go to a masjid where I actually have some information set already. So this is IIA, Islamic Institute of Atlanta, and if I go in their page, then I can see I already have some news. This is an event with some test data That's the title right there, and this was sent specifically to a group. So there, we also have the concept of a group. So originally this whole thing centered around push notifications, but then it expanded to salat times and donations. So what groups actually is, it's not really a group, it's more of a broadcast. So the point of this is that the imam and administrators can create subsets of their members. So if they have like Arabic class or summer school for students or maktab, then they can tell the parents or the students to join to download the app and join a group via group code. So the group code is spread by word of mouth, and it's actually set on the dashboard, and then they can join a group, and we can see right now we're part of the Sunday school group. So now that I'm part of the Sunday school group, whenever the masajid they send donations to a specific group, then I'll get this card, and it'll actually say it'll actually have this group information, which tells me that this was sent by the Sunday school group, and it's for us, for the members of the Sunday school group. So I have the time also, and the venue, and the description as well. And we just have some dummy data for description. So I have two actions right here. I can add it to calendar, and this automatically populates it, the event, with the information, the venue, and one notification 10 minutes before the event. So let's go ahead and discard that and go back. And then I have an announcement. There's two types of announcements. One is a general announcement, which we see right here, which has no action, just a title and an announcement. But the masajid, they can also have an announcement which has an action, and they actually set the action. So on the dashboard, they actually name this button whatever they want to, and they actually set the link for it to wherever they want it to point to. So when the user, when this card pops up, the button, the action will have whatever they want. So if they're sending it to their Arabic class group, for example, then they want to tell them to download notes, so this button can say download notes and point to Google Drive. So when they click there, it'll go to Google Drive or wherever. So they can do this individually for every single card, have a different button, and point you to a different website for enhanced customization. Then you also have Janaza. Hopefully this is a card we don't want to see more often. So there's a title, time, venue, and description in case it's needed. And there's only one action, which is navigate, in case you want to navigate to the place where the Janaza is being performed. So these are the cards, and then you have the Salat Times tab, and this just says the date, and then the Salat Times. There should be Maghrib also, but that's missing right now. So a masjid actually has, they have three options for Salat. They can choose not to have Salat Times, in which case this tab would not even show. Like for example, we have Masjid Abdullah, and right now they don't have Salat Times enabled, so this tab is not even showing, and there's no news either from them right now. So if we go back in IIA, this masjid has Salat Times enabled. So there's two types of Salat Times if you want to enable it. One is you can actually put a yearly calendar, upload the whole yearly calendar. Let me actually show you right now. So let's log in the dashboard, and so okay, here's Salat Time. So we have yearly calendar, and the masajid, they can upload their whole yearly calendar, and once they upload the whole thing, I'm not going to do that right now, then they can go in Salat Times configuration, and so this is all driven, this right here, this information is all driven from the web. So if they set the yearly Salat Time, so it'll actually pull from their yearly calendar the current day and the Salat Times for the day. However, the other option is static Salat Times in case a masjid doesn't have yearly calendar, or they don't really want to put that up right now, or they're in the process of saving it. Then meanwhile they can use this, which is just 5 static Salat Times, and they can keep updating it as Salat Times change. And I've actually added the last updated, just in case they don't update it for like 2 months. At least the Musalleen has a lead as to this was updated like 2 months ago, so it's probably not valid. So we can see that they can enable Salat Times, they can enable a static calendar or yearly calendar, but right now they can't enable the yearly because they're still missing some months. So there's that. So this is the dashboard, and on the dashboard, the masjid, they can add or remove admins with different permissions. They can make groups, like we see the Sunday school group, and this is the group code for that. And then they can send events. right here, like you can send a new event, or you can send a new announcement, or send a new janaza. So it's all this information they can send right from this dashboard. So they can send, put the title, event start, event and description, and the venue, and they can send to a specific group if they want. We only have one group right now. And also for donations, we integrate with Stripe, so they have the option of putting they actually can put their live and their secret and publishable keys right here. And this is all just dummy information. It's not completed yet, this page. So that's all it is for the dashboard, pretty much. This controls the kiosk also. This also controls the application. So they can go into settings, and this is still under this is still being finalized. So the design is not complete. They can upload their picture here. So if they go to edit, they can change the masjid information and upload a new file if they want. And they can actually see their own information. So this is all going to be redesigned actually. And on the dashboard, the main page, they can see all the data, like how many push notifications they've sent and how many members they have and stuff like that. And that's not integrated yet. So that's pretty much it for the application. And oh yeah, there's notification settings, so the user, they can enable or disable events, announcements, or janazas. And we're going to add classes and other things later on, inshallah. But we want the people to be able to choose what notifications they receive from every masjid. So they can, and these notification settings are specific per masjid. So there's groups, they can add groups, and all that means is I'm part of that group, and I'll be receiving notifications from that group, from the group administrator, and then they can see salat times, and this is their central news feed for that masjid. And right here in the navigation drawer, we have the option of seeing the masajid that I'm following, or all the masajid. And if I go to all masajid, I have the option of filtering, so I can search like masjid Uthman, for example. So I can search that. So then I have my home masjid, and this should actually, rather than going here, it should go to the home page of the masjid, like right here. Which this is eventually when you press home, it's going to go to the home page, like right here. So, and right here you have the basic information of the masjid. You can click on the address, and it'll take you to Google Maps. And you can press the call button right here or right here, and it'll actually pull up an action to call. And the other masajid, they may have more information. Like this one has the address of a phone number, an email, and a website. So you can, and the masjids, they actually fill this out once they're registering. So that's pretty much it for the app. And also the dialogues right here. Let me show you real quick. So let's say I follow this masjid. Oh yeah, and I have some information, some news on this masjid as well. So let's go into masjid that I'm following. So I can press home, and if I so I can set this as my home masjid. And if I remove this as my home masjid, then it won't start on this page when the app starts anymore. So that's pretty much it. Please let me know if you have any questions. And these two actually, register masjid and about us, they just go to the web URL. So that's not really a native page that it's going to. So there's only these three things really. Now I was thinking of where to add donations. So I was thinking of having a like we have this notification button right here. Just maybe having a button right here with a $sign, which would allow them to donate, or possibly having just like we have this this add button right here, possibly having a $sign button right here. So I'm not really sure which way I want to go, but that's where my thoughts lie right now. So inshallah, please let me know what questions you have, and that's about it. Jazakallah khairan.